Okay, so this video is maybe going to be a little more personal than all the other previous video, but it's been the 2-year anniversary of this channel in January, so I wanted to update about everything from going to CES to the future, and also like what I'm planning or hoping to do. But before doing all that, let's talk about RAM pricing in Canada. Yeah, I know, it came from nowhere. Now, don't get me wrong, the price are still pretty horrible. But I was browsing Canada Computer and Memory Express. Then I found those bundle. This is the Memory Express one. And then the Canada Computer one. And you can see here that it's kind of crazy. Like the RAM is $620 by itself, but it's $800 to get the full bundle with the motherboard and the CPU. So I sent this link to a bunch of coworkers and I was like, the math doesn't make sense. So then we were throwing a bunch of hypotheses on the wall, trying to figure it out. First one was like maybe it's old RAM that they paid the previous price before they increase and they just need to clear it out. Or maybe they told the RAM maker, well, I need a couple of them at a cheap price because I'm not moving any hardware now. So we need to move some bundle. So it made me think kind of like Black Friday when you have maybe 20 unit of a laptop that is at a ridiculously low price just so you can get people in the store and then you hope to sell them something more. So it could also be that they just decide to eat the cost and it's a loss item for them because they're moving the CPU and the motherboard also. But yeah, anyway, if you have you really need to build a computer right now, look at the bundle first because it could be your best option if you don't have RAM that you can use. Now, if you already have DDR4, maybe it's worth staying on AM4 or looking for Intel for Gen 12, 13, and 14, which 13 and 14 is basically, if I remember well, the same thing. So at least that's giving you a path to upgrade. Or in the last resort, you can go DDR5. It's just that paying $620 for something that was like $140, I don't know, 6 months ago is really making this hobby less and less affordable. We'll talk about that a little more later in the video. Okay, so now let's talk back to the channel. Like I said, it's been 2 years since I started this project while having a full-time job. It was mostly that I was all dealing with hardship and I needed something constructively to occupy my free time. But I made a list of all the side projects I could work on, but this one really jumped out of the page and stand out because for the last 20 years, I've been checking hardware review, games review, and always been interested in the new thing that were getting released or reading, trying to min-max it, finding which processor or which GPU would make sense for that price or for a budget price, and then getting lost in many reviews. I do enjoy the professional relationship I made with different brands through the years. Testing a mix of product that I would buy by myself anyways, or product I wouldn't have a chance to try if it was not of the channel. So going to CES was eye-opening in many different ways. I did feel a little stressed before official meetings, and I'm sure part of it is some kind of imposter syndrome, asking myself if I really belong there. But it was good to have those random impromptu chat with different people that you would meet from the airport or the lobby of the hotel, and seeing all those products being on display, having a chance to test them, and in some way betting on myself also. It was also good to see how other channels will film and work, end up being at AMD at the same time as Digital Foundry, being I think at Asus at the same time that Hardware Unbox, or testing the laptop while some former LTT employee having their own channel now were like in the same meetings as me while we were benchmarking and testing the laptop. And I felt, yeah, this is where I do belong there. I did at the same time considering it like a vacation, end up doing a long hike in the Valley of Fire with an amazing guide. But of course, it's a lot of cost for a non-monetized channel with no sponsorship. The channel does create expenses that mostly my IT job does cover. Now, I also will be the first to recognize I'm spending zero time on the marketing side of things. And I did refuse a affiliated link or small sponsorship. I have a very strict rule about that, is that if I would see another channel do a sponsorship of that brand, would I be comfortable and trusting it or not? Because you only have one reputation to lose, and I didn't feel the product that were pitched to me I was comfortable like necessarily doing. Doesn't mean that they necessarily was bad product, but I didn't know the brand, and even doing quick research, I was like, yeah, I'm not like pitching those product. I also decided to go at CES like 4 days before the conference at 3 a.m. while working on something else. I did question going in the US, looking at the political situation over there. And it was strange in Vegas because, at least on the strip, it was business as usual. Taxi drivers and people in the hotel were like, seemed all happy to have the business. Same thing in the restaurant, bringing like 158,000 people in the city for that week. Also, mostly in your AI stuff while I was there. You would see like, oh, this is an AI plushie for your kids. And I'm like, nope, we're not doing that. So I didn't post a video about it, but on the second day, I mostly focused on PC hardware at the Venetian. That was mostly the part I was going for CES. Now, most PC hardware brand will have private showing in a ballroom or in a suite, and not necessarily going on the expo floor. Now, like I said, most of them are private. So I only had Be Quiet and Intel, two brands I have a relationship in the last couple of years, planned with meetings. But when I would show up like during that day to the people in front of them managing like the crowd, when I would mention that I was going for my YouTube tech channel, a lot of them were like, oh, you're media, please go in. If they have space, like sometimes they were like, yeah, it's pretty quiet right now, so you can go in. So I did appreciate that I could do it that way. So I was able to see product by Thermalright, Gigabyte, Asus, and AMD. But it was really like crazy to see, so many like different product at the same time. I mean, another big one that would be good is Computex, but this is in Taiwan, and that definitively like has a higher cost than just flying from Toronto to Las Vegas. Sometimes I will also take a 1 or 2 month break, not uploading, being busy with my job, life, or just needing a break from health reason. But I still feel that things are progressing well after 2 years. I'm getting more and more opportunity to test things or to go to different events and things like that. And half of it is the fun of like playing with the hardware and making new discovery and networking. So I'm not trying, sometimes I need to remember myself, don't see too far the future, just enjoy the ride and you'll see where it leads. I had a lot of internal questioning about consumerism. Sorry, I cannot pronounce it correctly. The environmental impact of, the PC industry and always pushing new product. Now, I'm the first to admit I'm always like interested by the new shiny thing. It's like, oh, I just got this product, but now there's this new one that's been pushed on and that looks super interesting, and then my mind is trying to focus on it. But I did try to give my honest opinion of the product. But I think I'll also push like content in the future about old PC plus GPU. Or I had friends over and one of them brought like a $75 old Chromebook that he had put emulators and other things on it. And we're like, an old game, and we're like, wow, this is pretty fun with controller and plugging it on the TV. Just trying to balance it, saying, yeah, there's the fear of missing out of the new more shining hardware, but you can have so much fun with old hardware and just forget about it. You're like, yeah, I'm gaming and I'm having fun now. I was also having a discussion in the subway with a coworker while we were like, yeah, in the future everything's gonna suck. It's gonna be in data center. You're gonna be streaming your game. You're maybe gonna lose access to them, and you're gonna pay more, so everything's gonna be worse. Nah, it was maybe a strawman argument, like it's what we were talking about today. But I feel this is maybe why, when the price for GPU during Black Friday and Boxing Day kind of stabilized and got to MSRP or less, where we're kind of like, maybe it's time to do one last hurrah for the PC market. This is why I ended up getting a 5070 Ti from PNY during the holiday. We'll review it later, but it's on my PC right now. My friend got a 9070 XT. I was also looking for that card. So well, I'm like, yeah, now I have 16 gig of RAM, all my hardware is kind of matching. I can use the card probably for AI and model. Also gonna be going at the Toronto Game Expo at the end of the month. I went at the last one in November, but I filmed in the afternoon and there were so many people that I was not really, like, I look at the footage and I was like, yeah, it's not good footage, so I never end up posting about it. But this time I have a media press accreditation, so I'll try to plan it better and bring like good content because I love a good used game market trading. I know there's going to be cosplay and other activity. Last time Asus was there and showing up their ROG Ally X. So I'm really curious how it's going to be this year. And one last thing I want to mention is that I mentioned it to Brand like a year ago. But when I started this channel, one goal was that when I have extra hardware, try to donate it to small charity where they could use a PC or a gaming PC. Because my argument was like, well, yeah, I need to keep some of the hardware to be able to test it in the future, but I don't need 3 gaming PC. So I'll probably start over the summer. I will definitively film the building the computer part, but the rest will be private. I'm not really trying to get positive PR out of it, but I still feel that you should leave the world in a better place that like when you got there. So if I can help a little like charity with like, you know, extra computers that we can build, I can definitively do that. So anyway, that was just like a quick update on where the channel is going. There's plenty of video, so many video for me to do, but so little time. So I just wanted to update in a quick, kind of unscripted video. Let me know what you think. Feel free to comment, and we'll see you in the next one for reviewing something. Thanks for watching.